Okay, thank you guys for being here on another Tuesday night for our team call. Tonight, what we're going to be covering, I'm super excited about, and I think everybody truly will benefit from because I know everybody on this call wants to earn Icon Club, which means helping two people reach senior silver, which means them having 10 active customers to hit that. So, here is what we are going to cover tonight. What we're going to be doing, what I'm going to be sharing with you, is something that I really suggest that you are either doing in person or over Zoom because you want to, it's going to be important to see their body language. And really, there's like, when you think about recruiting, and I think we all know this to be true, I think we can all say, like, hey, when we're in front of somebody, they feel our energy. They get excited and they're much quicker to sign up. They sometimes they're just like, what do I need to do? And so being in front of somebody when you're sharing the business, that's your quickest way to sign a business builder. And over the phone, is the slow way, and over messenger or text messaging is the slowest way. So when you think about three ways that you're signing people, especially like if you're doing it over texting or messenger, that's a lot. Like you have to wait. How many times have we waited like days for people to respond? Right. So the goal is what we're working with here, what I want to help you with is this is somebody you have said, would you be interested in learning more about the business? And they say, yes, tell me more. Or they're like, hey, I'm in. This sounds amazing. Tell me what I need to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up either a Zoom or in person. If they don't live in your town, you got to do a Zoom. But you are going to, and the steps that, yes, Judy shared that people are multitasking during texting and messages. And we all have the best intentions of responding to people quickly. And some things happen. I can't tell you how many times I've sent somebody a message like, oh my gosh, I actually thought that I responded to this 2 weeks ago. And I don't, and the only reason I saw it is because I got on to send them another message. And I'm like, "Ooh, I never answered their last one." So that's why being in person or on Zoom is so important. And the things that I want to share with you that you're going to go over with that person, you don't have to do it all in one setting, right? Feel it out. See how it goes. Like if this all goes in one setting, great. If it doesn't, great. That's why when you're in front of them, you can sense their body language. You can tell when they're leaning in. You can tell when they're pulling back. You can tell when they're not actually paying. Like if you're on a Zoom, you can tell when people aren't paying attention anymore, right? You can. So, all right, you are going to start with vision casting for them. So, this is where you really are going to be telling them the qualities you see in them. So I'm going to just say something out loud, but again, I will send you some copies, but you'll get the idea. So here is an example of how you can be having a conversation with somebody. I would love to do this with you because you have so many qualities that would make you successful. Do you guys remember last week we worked on qualities that we want in a business builder? Now's your time to share some of those qualities with that person. You're going to already have thought through this before you're meeting with them, right? So you're going to share some of the qualities that you think will make them successful. And then you can share, I know that you are a person of integrity. You have a heart for people. You love people so well. You're business minded. You decide as you're describing them, you're busy and busy people always get things done. You're health conscious. You're so loved and respected. So this is where you are building them up. And we know people know BS. So that's where as we are building our new teams, we're not recruiting people we don't actually want to do business with. That's why we did the activity last week to figure out who do we want to work with, right? So you're not blowing smoke. People will be able to tell you are truly believing these amazing things about them. And so You're going to share the things you love about them, the reasons you think they're going to be successful. And you can say something like, because of that, you're going to find that Plexus is going to be a great fit for you. And you can also say, and you're going to fill in the blank, right? But teachers do so well in Plexus. Nurses do so well in Plexus. Entrepreneurs, whatever, you've described about them, do so well in Plexus. So this really is just about you pouring belief into them and letting them know why you think they will be great at this business. So a little bit of vision casting for them. And then your step number 2 is establishing that Plexus is for everyone and help them dream. So an example of that might be, I love that anyone can be successful in Plexus. You could have a master's degree or your GED. You could be super healthy or struggling with your health. You can be a doctor or a stay-at-home mom with babies and everything in between. This means not only can you find success with Plexus, but so can your friends and family with any background. So you're just really, now you're branching out to let them know what you loved about them. And now you're going into like, anybody can do this. Because sometimes what do people say? I don't know anybody that would want to do this with me. You're laying the foundation of anybody can do this, and if you want, have a couple stories in your back pocket. I don't know the last time you spent any time watching diamond documentaries, but maybe start watching one a day. So you kind of start to have success stories that you can just pull out, because this is a conversation. You're going to see where they're leaning in, leaning out, and then you're going to say, just to help me make our conversation more meaningful, I'm super curious. If money and time were no object, what would you do? And then listen and respond honestly, and then ask them. And I know you guys have heard this before, but we're all maybe a little out of practice of recruiting business builders. So you're going to say, how much money would you need for that? Okay, because now what you're starting to do is figure out what they're dreaming of, what would make them happy, and how much they need, because you're going to, just like when you share the products with somebody and you continue to help them stay on the products because they've shared their health goals with you, you're getting this information to help them stick with the business, because once you know what they want, you can keep going back to that. But you got to know. So you're going to chat with them about what they want and how much money that's going to take. So step number 3 is connect your opportunity to this. So here's just a sample. Here's the incredible thing. You could absolutely make that on your phone with Plexus, because we have products and an opportunity that everyone needs. I want to show you what it would look like to actually make that. Before I share the income, I think it's really important for me to explain a few things. This next part is crucial. Everything else, I think we know, but we may be out of the habit of doing it, and maybe having our notes and referring to it every time before we talk to a business builder will be helpful to shake the cobwebs out and a reminder. But this next part is going to be critical to you helping them succeed and dig into the business. You're going to go over 3 main points. And I think we maybe touched on this last week, but I don't remember. 3 more main points. And these are super important because it's going to allow you to see what fires them up. As you begin speaking about these 3 things, you're going to watch them either pull away or lean in. It's going to be your biggest clue as to which of the 3 things set their heart on fire. And if you can see them start to pull away as you're talking about one of the points, like it's making them uncomfortable, you don't need to keep going into the details because they're not interested. This is why that face-to-face or Zoom is so important, because when we get to the point, and when you're sharing with them and you get to one of the points where they're leaning in and they look excited, share more about this point. Go all in, and remember this for when you are helping them along the way. And here are the 3 points, and I'll go into them a little bit more, but here's the 3 main points: residual income, vacation and prizes, and helping others. And you guys have all been around here long enough and had people on your team where you know what people are motivated by what. Probably people who worked the business. You at least know what motivates you, right? Like for me, I am motivated by money. Whenever something has come up in our family and we need more money, Christy Barkley goes to work. It's crazy what I can accomplish when we need money for something. Deanna Bishop, I don't know that she has ever even looked at her paycheck. It just goes into a bank account. But the trips and the prizes set her on fire. Funny thing is, she could travel wherever she wanted, whenever she wanted to, and she knows that. But going for free, like, and winning stuff makes her so freaking excited. And helping others, Crystalline is on this call. She's a nurse, and I think she likes all the things, but she, as a nurse and a yellow personality, has such a heart for helping others. And I got to be honest, like if you're telling me about how much I could help people, I'm like, oh, I do like to help people. That doesn't set me on fire. Here's the truth. I love, so Crystalline just commented 100%. I love coaching and training. I like helping business builders. When it comes to loving on people through all of their health issues, I'm like, oh my gosh, just do the thing. Just take the stuff. And I do care, but really, how you're going to get Christy Barkley booming in a business is with the bonuses, with what's possible, with what rank do I have to hit to do certain things. So here's the thing. You're going to touch on all three, and you're really going to watch them to see where do their eyes light up. And then you're just going to lean into that, because our activity last week had you going through all of these things, right? You know how much money you've made. You know what trips you've gone on. You know what prizes. If you have not done that homework yet, now you realize why it's so important to do that homework. Okay. And helping others and learning how this has affected your family. So let's just sample talk residual income. So Plexus is residual income. And I didn't know what residual income was, but trust me, it is so worth it. I know for me, when I was for me, you know, a professional sports executive, when I stopped working, I stopped getting paid. But this residual income, you could build something that will pay you for years to come, year after year. You see, when you refer someone and they order, you get paid. And every time they order after that, you get paid. My friend was sharing that she referred her friend to Plexus 8 years ago. She has purchased Plexus every month for 8 years, and now that friend has a team, and she'll continue to get paid on her team for years to come. You could share your own story. You can share my story of like how I haven't worked for 18 months and I'm still, making over $2,000 a month. You could, whatever you feel like you need to share. You could share the example of last week when I said, if somebody only ever orders triplex and never builds a team for 9 years, it was like $3,500. So however you want, if you see them pulling back, because some people get really uncomfortable talking about money, and they you don't need to go into all that. You can just shut up. Okay. You can share a little bit and then carry on and let them know, something else that is amazing with Plexus is the vacations that you have the opportunity to earn and take a guest on, and all of the fun prizes. So here's an example. The other really cool thing is that Plexus is so much fun. They offer tons of vacations that you can earn and lots of fun prizes too. I mean, I work hard as a nurse, and I've never been given fun vacations and prizes. My friend has earned, or you could say you. But remember, you're also training. So this, what I'm going to send you is training your brand new people. So make sure they have your story to share, because you're training brand new people who haven't earned trips yet to share the business. So just kind of keep that in mind when I'm talking through this. And when I send you this document. My friend has earned a trip to Disney World, Mexico, Hawaii, and a bunch of other places. I mean, she's gotten shopping sprees and iPads, a robot vacuum, and all kinds of fun stuff. And this is where you've created your list and you've shared it with your person so that they're able to share what you've done. And because they know you and trust you, they're comfortable sharing what you've earned. They really are. And they're excited. All right, so that's a vacation and prizes. Again, there are people that are going to be fired up about some free trips and stuff. I have people who have only ever worked for the stuff. You know, her daughter wanted an Apple Watch, so she worked for an Apple Watch. Her daughter needed an iPad, wanted one for Christmas. She worked for the iPad. And it was the things, right? People go for different things. In my mind, I was like, couldn't she just buy that for her daughter? But she wanted to earn it, you know? So here is number 3, helping others. And here's just something example you could say. It's amazing how one person saying yes to this opportunity can have a ripple effect that can change so many lives. Because our products are simple to share, easy to love, and generally changing the way people feel in their own bodies. Not only that, but because this business creates freedom, so many people have been able to and connect their dream to this. So supplemental income, stay at home, save for retirement, and you can just share different ideas. So this helping others has a lot to do with you helping the person reach their dreams that they've already shared with you, right? And that may be their main thing. They may not, some people, it's fascinating. I have a really strong connection between my dream and how much money it's going to cost, right? Some people don't. Some people they don't have a clue either what it's going to cost, or they're so uncomfortable with money and the idea that they could make enough money to reach their dreams. Judy's saying like me, that they dream, but they don't want to talk about the money side. You got to just fill people out. So you see why it's so important to be looking at them, because people's body language says everything. All right, so here's what you're going to do next. So let me just step back for a minute. So the first thing you did was vision casting. This all was in vision casting. So tell them the qualities you see in them. Establish that Plexus is for everyone. Connect your opportunity with the 3 main points. Okay, so that's that step. Show them the money is your next step. So you are going to use one of the big graphic disclaimers. So whether you have it on your phone, I mean, it might be cheesy for you to pop up with one printed, like you're at Panera and you're like, oh, here's my presentation. But if you have it real quick on your phone, and you could show them the rank and income, what you're going to do is show them that. And then here's your thing. So basically, to be able to insert their dream, your goal would be insert the rank. Okay? Super easy. Not easy if you're not showing them a graphic, because they don't have a clue what in the world you're saying, because our ranks don't mean anything to anybody outside of Plexus. So you're just going to connect their dream to the rank. And here is a super vital step. Next, you're going to just do a little temperature check. And you're going to say, okay, I've shared a bit. I'm honestly curious on your thoughts. Are you open to this? On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being sign me up, let's do this, and 1 being not really open to this, where would you say you are? This is where you're looking for their objections. Do not fear the objection, because even if you don't know the answer, you can just if they bring up something you don't know the answer to, and you guys probably all do, but your new people might not, let them know, you know what? I'm going to find the answer to that. And if it's a new business builder, if you're in good communication with them, you probably know they're having a meeting with somebody because they told you, because they're excited. They're talking to somebody, and let them know if you're available to take a phone call. Like if they get asked something during that call, If they can call you and you are there to answer it right like that, perfect. If not, they can tell the person they're going to get back to them. But did you guys all see the main objections that I shared in the gold diggers? The objection and then how to overcome them and all of that? There's graphics. If not, you can find them. Crystal and Psalm, Laura's looking for them right now. But I made graphics because they're easy to save. You can save them. People could save them on their phone. And those are the main objections that anybody is going to have to working the business. So if you have prepped your new business builder with, listen, if somebody, here's the main objections, here's ways to talk through those with them, then they're not scared of the objection, right? So they're going to get an objection. They're going to find out if they're 1 to 10, and then they're just going to go from there, and they're going to tackle the objection. The next thing after show them the money, again, this may not all happen in one call or one meeting. Probably if you're meeting in person, it probably will, because it's going to be going well and it's going to be going quickly. If somebody set up a Zoom call with you, but they only had 15 minutes, it's probably not going to be done in one. You maybe could end it there and say, let me know, think about it. Can we jump back on a call in 2 days or whatever? You know what I mean? So the next thing you're going to do is show them how to leverage the compensation plan. And you're really only going to focus on silver and fast start silver right now. So you're going to point to the income disclosure graph that you already had and point to the rank of silver. And you're going to share with them that silver is the first rank with Plexus, and you just need 3 people to achieve this goal. Draw the circles out, them and the 3 circles. This could be anyone, maybe your sister, best friend, and a coworker. The goal here is to get them to give you 3 names right then. Let them know that they're not alone, that you're here to help and support them. Another suggestion is to have them open their phone, and the 3 people they talk to the most are the most likely to jump in with them. And you may not think much about asking them for the names, but let me tell you the power of that. I have a new coach within Plexus, and I had my first call with her last week, and she made me give her the names of the people from my reach outs last week. I have 3 people that have agreed to get on Zoom calls with me to talk about the business further. She made me give their names to her. Do you know what I know for a fact she's going to do on my call next week? She's going to ask me, did you have the call with Kelly? Did you have the call with Jamie? Did you have the call with Marie? And I know that. So you better bet I'm going to really have an answer to that. Okay. So when people give you the names, you are able to follow up with, hey, what did Susie say? What did your sister Tara say when you talked to her? And if they're like, oh, you're able to encourage them. But when there's a person that they're thinking of, it hits different, right? Like if I were to ask you right now, who are the 2 people that you are helping go senior silver? Would you have names? And if you don't, that means you're trying to add new people and make them, those be your people, right? Okay, so here's the end. Make the ask. The big scary part, really not that scary because you're already prepared with what possible objections can be. So are you in? You're much more likely to get them signed up immediately if you're in person or on a Zoom. Again, the slowest way possible is through Messenger. If they say no, ask them, okay, where are you? What are you thinking? You're looking for objections again, because when you get objections, what can you do? Handle the objections. You really can. So here are just a couple touch points. If they really don't want the business opportunity, then you're just going to pivot to the products, letting them know that the products are for everyone and ask if they have any health concerns. And remember, we touched on last week, like, of course, these products are amazing. Like, they just are. Everybody needs them. Everybody should stick with them. Um, Remind me at the end to tell you something my coach said about setting expectations. I don't want to tell you right now because it doesn't have to do with this, but it was a helpful tip. So you guys don't let me forget before we stop. So something else that you can hit them with, because if they've looked at their phone and they're talking to the top 3 people, something that they could say to a really good friend. I know I could say this to some of my best friends. Now, people I'm not super close with, I wouldn't say this to, but some of my best friends, and in fact, 2 of my college roommates that I made join so that I could go gold said something similar to this. But to a good friend, you can tell them. You can't tell me no until you actually know what you're saying no to. Let me share the info with you. And then if it really isn't for you, I'll accept that. But if you're really good friends with somebody, be like, listen, I love you and you love me. So you don't get to say no until I really share with you why I think you would be great at this. Like, and then really don't like it. Okay. But just be honest, and push them. You can push certain people farther and know that they're still going to love you tomorrow. You really can. So another thing, I need to talk to my spouse objection. Here's something you could say from what I understand from Melissa Eichenhorst. She has said this multiple times, and it's always turned into the person signing right away. So I need to talk to my spouse. She says, is your spouse usually supportive of you? Let them say whatever they're going to say. And then if they're concerned about their husband being upset about the money spent, offer to get on a Zoom with the husband so you can share how quickly they can earn their money back. Just let them know. I am happy to jump on a Zoom call with your husband and share with him the money opportunities. In my experience, husbands love bringing in extra money. Like, just tackle it head on, right? Because here's what we all know. None of these humans are calling their husbands before they spend $130 at Target. None of them are. We're not doing $1,000 investments. They are spending more than this at Target or on Amazon every week, sometimes every day. All right. At the end of the day, don't be afraid of rejection. Welcome it, because not only is it helping you understand them better, but it means the conversation is continuing. That's really important. Like, it keeps the conversation going. The door is open. So the worst time to formulate a response is the exact moment you're in the conversation. And that is why I made those objection graphics to cover the main objections that people get when talking about the Plexus business. So that I don't have time. I'm not good at sales. I don't know enough people. I've tried something like this before and it doesn't work. Those objections are all in those graphics, so you can pull those. If you can't find them, send me a message and I'll shoot them over to you. Here is, okay, any questions about that? That's what you're going to do. And that's what you're going to train your new business builders to do. Is that helpful? Questions? Too fast? Too slow? Okay, here is something. You got your pen and paper ready? I got some numbers for you. Let me find the numbers. Okay. We all need a sales funnel, right? You've heard it. I don't know if anybody's actually given you the numbers for your sales funnel, but here's where you should be at all times. And what I would like for you to do is write down the names of the people that are in each section of your sales funnel, because as people are moving through, you got to keep it full. How many times have you signed somebody that's like all in and you end up spending so much time on helping them, and then you stop cold messaging or warming up your cold market, right? You don't keep it full. So I'm going to give you numbers and the funnel, what it should look like. And the goal is to have it full. Now, for me, I'm still in the top part of the funnel. My funnel is not full. I'm a lot in the top and a little. So the top biggest part of your funnel is your cold market. You would always ideally have 16 people in your cold market. This is the group where you're using your marketing system to grow. You're connecting with people who have similar interests with you, whether it's at events in person, whether it's Facebook groups, whatever. These are the people that you're trying to build just connections with. These are the people where we've talked about, like, let's say you're commenting on like an influencer's post, but instead of just commenting on the post, like if it's somebody you really like, read through some of the comments and then comment to somebody who made a comment you really liked, who seems like your kind of person. Maybe send them a DM. I loved what you said on Mel Robbins' post. Couldn't have said it better myself. This is your cold market. You're not reaching out to Jane Doe and trying to sell her Plexus, right? You're just building through your marketing, making connections. So it tends to, everything tends to have a half-life. So next part of your funnel is your warm market. In your warm market, about 8 people. So this is not overwhelming, right? I'm not telling you to, cold message 100 people. 8 people in your warm market. These are people that already follow you. They interact with you. They engage with you. And this is where conversation is really important. You're just getting in conversations with these people and sharing your opportunity. We're not sharing our opportunity with the cold market. We're sharing it with the warm market. But we got to start with the cold market to keep our funnel flowing. Or else what happens? You go back to that, I run out of people to talk to. Well, you do if you're not constantly adding people. So the next part of your funnel, getting a little smaller, and ideally there's 4 people in this part of your funnel. These are customers in their first 90 days. This is a really important decision phase for them. So customer care is super critical here, and don't stop those steps. Right now, we're talking about a business builder funnel, but if they are in the first 90 days, you aren't pivoting from how are you doing on your product messaging to work the business. You're just really caring for them in the customer care, but they are in your funnel. So help them order repeatedly, help these customers love the products, because those are the ones most likely to become business builders, right? So they didn't sign up to be a business builder. They signed up for the products, but you're going to love on them so much and they're going to love the products so much that they're maybe going to want to do the business. Okay, the next almost smallest part of your funnel is these are your 90 days or more committed customers. So on average, you've got 2 people in there. This is not overwhelming. 2 people in there. These are the dedicated, these people are so dedicated to the products and the Plexus brand. Like, so what you're going to do here is cast a vision beyond the products. You're going to start sharing the comp plan with them. You're going to kind of lean more into the business messaging with them. And they might be your happy sharers. There's a difference between a happy sharer and a business builder. A happy sharer is trying to earn the iPad, and then the next month is a trucker hat, and they don't want a trucker hat, so they're not sharing anything. That's not a business builder, okay? So don't confuse the two. There are people who wanted the walking pad who don't want another duffel bag, okay? They just don't care. Those are sharers. Helping them become business builders is what you're working on here. And then your final part of your funnel, and it's likely that you only have 1 in there at a time. If you have more, amazing. Hopefully we're going to have 2 because we're Earning Icon Club, but these are your business builders. The bottom part of your funnel, so it's worked all the way up from your cold market to your business builders, and they are a working team member. They are active on your team page. They are helping you lead team calls. They are working to add business builders to their team. They are having these recruiting messages. That's what your sales funnel should look like. And that's what we will help our new business builders as they come on board have a vision for what they are looking like. And to me, that's not too overwhelming, right? Okay, any questions about the sales funnel or anything? Setting expectations. Oh, okay. Are we good to move on to that? Everybody, any questions about helping your new people become business builders and helping them recruit business builders? First of all, do you feel good about this? Like after the work we did last week and this week, do you feel good about sitting down with somebody when they say, I'm kind of interested in the business, tell me more? You feel like you have the foundation to really speak confidently, especially after you've done the homework from last week. Okay, here is something that I think will start being shifted in the Plexus messaging. But what she shared, this was my new Plexus coach, is that they are changing the expectation of product usage. Do you know, for as long as I've been around, they told us to let people know, hey, you need to do 60 to 90 days, right? You got to do 60 to 90 days. Don't quit before then. We can get your money back for 60 days. But sometimes people quit. Or what happens is when we set that expectation is they expect lots of change by 90 days. Okay. And some people have it, but some people don't. And what happens to those people when we said 60 to 90 days? A lot of them quit at 60 days because they haven't reached the results they wanted. And if they haven't reached it by 90 days and we said 60 to 90 days, guess what? They're done. They're done. Crystalline says, my last two customers were this exactly. So what she shared with me is that as more and more research comes out about gut health, what we know now is that it takes about 90 days for the cellular, I'm certain that I wrote this down. What's the word, Crystalline? It's like a cellular turnover, something.
Regeneration, the cellular regeneration.
Thank you. I knew she would know. I know she would know. It takes 90 days for that cellular regeneration. And so it's not really until months 4, 5, and 6 that all the goodness starts. It takes about 90 days, they're saying, for the bad stuff to be cleared out. And so many people are not seeing huge gains from gut health until months 4, 5, and 6. So they are saying the new expectation is that we are telling people 4 to 6 months. I think that just helps in the way we set expectations, because how many of you have lost customers because expectations that we gave them were not met? So I thought that was very interesting. And it goes right along with the more gut health research that comes around, the more we're going to know. And again, we've all seen people feel way better after 4 weeks, but we've also seen people not feel any different. Yeah, Judy's, I mean, 6 weeks in, my husband was like, what are you doing? You're like a new person. And I was barely even new now compared to now, but I was also coming from an extreme case. Judy was coming from an extreme case. It's possible that people that kind of only don't feel great a little bit, it's going to take them longer to notice a big difference. So setting that expectation, what's going to happen if they start to feel great after 2 months? They're going to be blown away. Blown away. So that, I think, is just something to stick in your back pocket as you are sharing the products and teaching your new business builders how to share. Is that this is gut health. This is going to take a minute. This is not a pharmaceutical where you can feel better in a couple of days. This is truly transforming your health from the root base. And so it can feel a little scary to say, hey, I need you to give me 6 months. Except What if that turns them into the happiest customers ever and then maybe business builders? What if it turns them into business builders at month 2 because they're so thrilled that they exceeded all expectations and they can't wait to tell their people? That's a better message than, well, they told me 3 months, but it took me 4. Okay. So she shared that, and I just thought I can get behind that. I can. Okay. Questions? Thoughts? I will send you guys all my Google Doc that has all of my notes that I took during my trainings. Ask me any questions. The objections are in Gold Diggers. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Okay, next week we're going to do duplication. Okay, so that's what we'll do next week. And thank you guys for being on the call. It makes my heart so happy. You know, I hate doing something at 9 o'clock, and then I get on here and you guys are all on here and I'm so excited, and then I can't go to sleep till midnight because I'm so excited. So thank you. Thank you for being on. And I'm sorry for my delay. I just got last week's recording uploaded. I put it in Gold Diggers in the post that was announcing the call, but if you want the link just to not have to search for it, let me know and I'll shoot it over to you. And then I will go ahead and upload this now so that I don't forget next week. Okay? Thank you guys. Have a great
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay. Bye.